lives on tape. It lives on tape. Stop worrying.
Not once have you heard me.
It lives on tape. Tape.
Another technological disaster.
It lives. It lives. It lives on tape. Look out! That slithering death is right on you!
Welcome everyone back to It Lives on Tape, your official favorite horror movie podcast with myself, Torkel, and I'm here with Tanner. How you going today?
G'day, Torkel. Going great, thank you.
Nice.
This is our first episode since our launch, so
exactly.
Very excited.
Yeah, I've got a big smile on my face, and I see you do too, because we've officially launched, and you guys have had 3 episodes to enjoy, but we made all those before we even launched. So now this is our first one where we're actually seeing a reaction from our audience, which is really cool.
Yeah, and it's been super great, super supportive. Lots of people reaching out to us, which is lovely. Yeah, it's been a great week.
Yeah, it's really been amazing. Like
it's really
we've had
good to get everything out there.
Yeah,
like we've been sitting on this for weeks, building, slowly bringing everything together and packaging it nicely, and that
was
good.
the big thing as well, because we put so much effort into our first couple episodes. Episode 0 was pretty simple, but the next 2 were pretty big, especially the zombie episode of yours.
Oh, yes.
So we put so much work into it, so it felt so good just to get it out into the world finally. Oh my God.
I don't know about you, but when we stopped recording that, I let out a massive sigh of relief.
Yeah. I run on adrenaline for a while after recording. I'm like, and I think it was late at night or like 8 p.m. or something, and I was wired for a few hours.
Yeah, no, I was the same. I think I watched several movies after that. I was just in the zone.
No zombie movies though, hopefully.
No zombie movies.
No more.
But I've been playing zombie games lately. Some of the ones that we talked about. So Resident Evil, I played the other night, and been playing some World War Z as well. So I haven't put running zombies behind me quite yet. They're not too far in the rear vision mirror. But yeah, I definitely dried the well of zombie films for at least a couple of months.
Yeah. They're just, it's a nice passive in the background now with the games and stuff. It's good. It's a good balance. But no, we are super appreciative of everyone giving us feedback as well. We've had a few people reach out to us to tell us that they enjoyed the podcast and things like that. So that was like amazing to hear. I love that. And it's just been awesome to see everyone enjoying it and to get our stats for us to look at to see that people are actually enjoying it, which is really cool.
Oh, yes. I'm hungry for the stats.
We like that data.
It's just so interesting. It's so super interesting. But there's no better data than what you can give to us by whether it's reaching out directly, which you can do on Instagram, Threads, in the YouTube comments. I think you can even send us direct messages on YouTube. Tell us what you're interested in, what you want to learn more about, and maybe it has some overlap with what we're interested in, what we want to learn more about.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
we
tell
love
us
hearing
what you think about what we've been talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Any feedback's greatly appreciated. Even things that we can improve, because we are a new podcast and we're just a small setup. It's just me and you running the whole show. So we'd love to hear any feedback, good or bad. And all comments everywhere. ratings on Spotify are a thing as well. That'll help boost us in the algorithm too. So all of that's super generous. Everyone who's already done that and anyone who is considering doing that, we'd be greatly appreciative.
Yeah. There's other places where you can leave reviews, I think, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts. We'd love to read a couple of reviews.
That'd be amazing to see some. Maybe we could even read a review like on an episode or something if any come out in the future.
Yeah, special shout outs.
No,
that'd be fantastic.
Yeah. We're both Google Pixel boys, so we're lost in the Apple world, but we'll be checking in on there every now and again. But just so you guys know, we are on Apple as well, Apple Podcasts, and pretty much every platform, like Amazon Music as well. They've got podcasts too, and any other place you can imagine, we're probably on.
Yep. If you can throw a rock and hit a podcasting platform, our podcast is probably on it at this point.
Yeah.
we've been very thorough with it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think that's the other thing we realized as well is how much effort it is to do like a successful podcast, like the amount of work we put into some of the episodes and then into creating like images and shorts and things like that to share on social medias just to get ourselves out there a little bit to a new audience and things like that, and anyone who's interested in the horror world. It's been a big undertaking. So any interaction or engagement that you guys want to do to help support us would be immensely appreciated, like tagging your friends in posts or sharing it with anyone or anything really. We'd love to hear and see.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be so lovely. We'd be forever thankful. And yeah, on getting everything together for the launch, you know, we had in our minds that Tuesday was the day. We wanted to launch Tuesday morning, Australian Western Standard Time, because you had the idea of it lives on tape Tuesdays, which just rolls off the tongue. It just feels right. So that's what we're working towards. And I think Monday night we were quickly, making thumbnails for our YouTube, quickly getting all the pieces together. And all in all, I feel like it was a really successful launch. Like we pulled it off. So I just wanted to say, thank you, Torkel, for all your hard work through that.
Hey, thank you too. I mean, you've put in so much effort into it. Like we've really dove into it for sure, both of us, and it's amazing to see the fruits of our labor. And I feel like we're just becoming better and better at it. And I'm sure we'll be a well-oiled machine by like episode 20 or something. It'll be crazy.
Yeah, you can definitely, even in these 3 episodes, you can hear, I think, the difference in my confidence with talking as well. So yeah, it's been really good for that as well. Just, figuring out how to be, how to talk about stuff that you're passionate about in a engaging, entertaining kind of way. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole new challenge as well, isn't it? It's that's part of why I like doing stuff online. It seems easier for me as someone who has a fair bit of anxiety in my life to get out or put myself out in the world through online rather than in person. Mm-hmm. So, and then learning how to do it in an engaging way is a whole other thing. But it's a lot of fun, and I love talking about the horror movies with you. It's been great. Here's to many more.
Cheers to that. Holds up
Clink.
a imaginary glass. Clink.
Soda stream bottle.
I don't have my water bottle on me. God damn. No. Well, so what do we have today? For everyone?
Today we're talking about the new Saw movie, which just came out like a week or two ago. Saw X or Saw 10. Oh my goodness. The 10th Saw movie. Could you believe it? It has come already.
I can't believe it. And I feel like we should probably be honest with our audience here. With what we're doing.
We'll be honest. Yeah.
Right.
I think neither of us are particularly big fans of the Saw genre. I think we both respect it for sure. It's definitely been, it's carved its own niche in the horror world.
That's right. And it is an Australian film franchise. So technically.
I only just learned that like 2 days ago. I was very surprised.
Yeah.
So that's a really cool fun fact about it.
Yeah. What is it? The original director was Australian?
I think that's what it was, yeah.
We'll claim that.
Yeah, that's ours. It's an Australian movie. And but yeah, I remember watching like 1 through to 6 or something like that, back when I was younger, and it kind of ended the narrative, and but then more movies kept coming out, so it's kind of just its own beast now that keeps going. And we haven't watched Saw 10 or Saw X for honesty's sake, for clarity. And we're going to today just do a fun, shorter episode where we talk about all the potential traps that we would want to see in the movie as creators ourselves. What kind of stuff would engage us to want to go and see the Saw movie? So
yeah, it's going to be interesting, because I, hand to my heart, have not seen a Saw movie.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's almost a hot take. It's a hot admission.
I know. It's just when we were growing up, it was the big thing, and everyone was watching them, and I sort of got the idea that it's just like torture movies.
It is.
And I was like, that's not really my thing. I prefer other horror movies. So that's not to say that, like, if that's what you're into, fantastic. But I think eventually I will do a watch through of all of them. Maybe I'll even scrape together some sort of deep dive to really sink my teeth in, sink the teeth of the bear trap in.
Oh, wow.
But I think the only Saw adjacent film I've seen was Spiral.
Oh.
I think that's what it was called.
Yeah, I think
I was
that's
invited
one
to
of
the
the
cinema. Yeah, it's a
That's
spin-off. Right. It's a spin-off.
Yeah.
And
I think it's a Netflix one now. Or on Netflix.
Yeah, gotcha. And I was told it's not really a Saw film, so...
Oh.
I still
I have not seen that one. Yeah, they really are, like hardcore gore movies. But we're going to shed some light on it today and go through with our, funny and, maybe inventive and interesting trap ideas. Because if you guys don't know, I'll give, people probably know what Saw is, but I'll give a quick, info about what Saw is. It's really gory movies about this character, Jigsaw, who traps people for what he perceives as their wrongdoings. And the traps that he puts them in have 2 horrible outcomes, the second of which is usually death, and the first of which is usually mutilation, self-mutilation or some kind. And it's, for their crimes that he perceives as their moral atrocities that they've committed. Half the time, I think it's very minor things that he perceives as moral atrocities. I was making these jokes with my partner last night, like maybe in the new Saw movie, because there's been so many, maybe he's just like getting annoyed at people who cut him off in traffic and then torturing them for that. But they're not that small, but it is pretty small things in the scheme of what he does to them.
How does he know of so many people who have done bad things? Like,
I don't know.
Is that ever explained? Like, is he in law enforcement or something like that? or is he in the legal system? Like, do
I
we?
think-
I guess I shouldn't spoil this for myself if I'm gonna do a look back. But how? I don't know that many bad people.
No, it's true. Like, there's, I think one movie in particular is the one that I remember. I can't remember which one it is, like Saw 4 or something like that. But it sort of starts off with his pregnant wife is somewhere, and a man comes and robs the place where she's at, and he accidentally, or like, through his escape, bumps her, and she hits her stomach and has a miscarriage. And there's another case where he's like, he is dying, he's terminally ill of cancer, and he gets scammed by like a doctor for like some experimental treatment, so he tortures the doctor. It's just all sorts of things like that. And I think it reaches more and more as the movies go on, to where he's just grabbing like insurance salesmen who've screwed him over and stuff like that.
I think actually Saw X, if I'm understanding it correctly, comes in between Saw 1 and 2. Then when he's going to Mexico for some treatment for his cancer, and something happens, I guess, and he starts killing people there.
Yeah, you're right. It is supposed to be older in the timeline of the movies, back to the early days when the atrocities were more, a little bit more justifiable, perhaps, of the victims. But, well, we're going to have some fun with it. Should we get into our trap ideas for Saw 10, Saw X? We got 10 traps.
Let's
celebrate
now.
it.
We're doing 5 each. I'm happy for you to start.
Okay.
Take it away.
Keep in mind, I'm a writer, so I went all out on the descriptive language of some of these, okay? I'm really setting the tone. I'm setting the stage. And also, I'm putting on my glasses because Saw X has a big focus on the ocular. There's some eye torture traps. So I'm protecting my eyes from, from this segment, from this review. I'm keeping myself safe as we talk about Saw X. Okay.
Nice. I'm always wearing my safety glasses.
Exactly. So now we're cooking. We're ready. All right. So picture this, right? Okay. Which one am I going to read first? Let's read this one first. Okay. So a character. And now I've kind of made these as would you rathers as well, just for extra fun.
I hate would you rathers. Man, I think this is a problem I'm going to have with Saw.
Yeah. Because it really is a toss-up of, do you want to do this horrible thing to yourself, or do you just want to die in a horrible way?
Right. You're right. It's never good.
And I love Would You Rathers, so I lent into that a little bit, but also, we'll see how it goes. You don't have to fully Would You Rather it. I'll present it. I was going to present it to you, but instead I'll present it as the movie.
Gotcha.
Okay, so the main character awakens in a brightly lit room. Okay, there's no door, no windows, no obvious way to get in or out. Okay, they're trapped in there.
Okay.
Their legs and hands are chained to a large steel table. If you can imagine, like when you're getting, when you're getting questioned by the police, you're chained. You're like handcuffed and chained to the table, but you can still move around a little bit, kind of like that. Okay, so there's a big red timer which starts counting down. This is a staple of Saw movies. There's a big red timer, starts counting down from 60 minutes.
Okay.
And then a voice sounds from a speaker behind the timer. This is also another thing in the Saw movies. Jigsaw always has voice recordings in the speakers.
I appreciate you telling me these mainstays.
Yeah, I thought I'd better say them because I didn't realize you hadn't seen them. But this is good. This is good for the audience too if they're not into Saw.
Yeah. I feel like I'm there.
Nice. Okay, I'll do it in Jigsaw's voice as well.
Okay.
You have 60 minutes to consume the items laid out before you. For every 10 minutes that you have not finished the food items, an angry bird of prey will be introduced into the room. If you do not eat the items in their entirety within 60 minutes, then you will never leave the room that you find yourself in.
Damn. Okay.
Okay, so what are the food items before you? Okay.
I was about to ask, what are the birds?
Okay, yeah. So the birds. Okay, so we got birds of prey, and they're angry, right? That's a specification. They're angry. So we got vultures, we got hawks, we got eagles. There's a different one every 10 minutes. Different birds of prey.
Gotcha. This is Angry Birds, right? This is.
Oh yeah, this is Angry Birds in real life. This is not a fun movie. This is scary Angry Birds.
Okay. So okay, what's the food?
Yeah.
What's the food?
So yeah, the food items laid out before you is a 575 gram box of dry wheat bix. Okay, that's one.
Okay. Cool.
And mind you have 60
Pretty
minutes
easy
to
so
consume
far.
this. Almost half a kilo of dry wheat mix.
Yeah, I feel like that would probably kill you more effectively than the birds. Plus, you're getting a new bird every 10 minutes.
Every 10 minutes. So you better eat these Weet-Bix fast. And those birds are angry and probably hungry, so they're pecking at you and the Weet-Bix.
And the Weet-Bix. Far out, okay.
And there's another food item. There's one more. There's also a 560 gram jar of Vegemite. And I'll add to this, thankfully, the main character is very hungry. But there is no spoon, there's no bowl, and no milk. So you're eating all this with your bare hands.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And the room is bright and it's white. And so there's no... So Jigsaw is watching you, obviously, do all this and making sure that you don't, like, just sort of cookie monster your way through the Weet-Bix and most of it's
throw it around
everywhere.
like bird food. No, Jigsaw will know.
Okay.
There's a little camera. It's like an interrogation room. There's probably a little camera in the corner as well.
Right. Okay. So what do I do with this information? Like,
well, we could just leave it at that. But if do you reckon there's any chance that you'd be able to dust off half a kilo of Weet-Bix and half a kilo of Vegemite in an hour?
I think probably that volume of Weet-Bix, and that's like that's one of the like value packs, isn't it?
Yeah,
or
it is.
A value pack a kilo.
There is a value pack that's a kilo. There's even one that's 1.2 kilos. This one's in between. Right. So I thought that's impossible. There's no way you're doing that much. Yeah. But this one, there's a small chance.
575 feels achievable, maybe.
Yeah. I'll probably put an image up in the edit to show what kind of Weet-Bix pack it is. And Vegemite, what size.
We'll do a Weet-Bix for scale.
All the different Weet-Bix.
Yeah, what size jar was it of Vegemite?
It was a similar size. I think it was 560 gram jar.
Okay. Wow,
yeah, so pretty big. It's a pretty big jar.
That's huge. I sometimes snack on some Marmite. I think it's Marmite. Ooh. It's one of the Vegemite knockoffs, you know.
Like Promite maybe, or Mighty Mite?
Yeah, it might be Promite. And I just dip a spoon in there and just have a little bit at night.
Nice.
That's my I think that's the closest thing I have to a deep dark secret. And I'm already revealing it.
I respect that. That's Australia.
That's okay. Thank you. I feel accepted for that in a way that I've never felt accepted before, because Jade hates it.
Well, hey, I've shared with you my weird food habits, like we said on episode 0 with my mustard and Milo obsessions when I was a young man.
Yes, but never together. Never
together.
As I
important
learned
distinction.
finally in that episode, after
Yeah.
15 years of thinking that it was something that you had together.
Yeah. I'm a liar.
No, I
But
think
yeah,
it was
no,
just
that-
a misunderstanding.
Yeah, that mustard obsession persists throughout to this day. So
Look, here's my plan. I think if you you could probably fashion some sort of a solid sort of gum by crushing up some of the Wheat Bix and mixing it with the Vegemite.
oh, okay, that's interesting.
And
Your
you
tactic.
could create like a brick that you could use to pummel any birds of prey that come in, or at least like knock them off or stun them maybe. And
I like that. That's creative.
you know, when the timer runs out, if you make it that far, then you know, I guess there's going to come a point where he can't keep adding in birds, because he probably only planned for there to be 6 birds.
Yeah, 6 birds altogether.
Right. So, what would it be? Hang on.
Yeah, wait.
10 minute, 20 minute, 30
6,
minute,
yeah.
40 minute, 50, 60. He adds in the final bird. What's the final bird
Yeah.
look like? That's what I'm intrigued about.
Oh, I was thinking one of the birds has to be an emu or an ostrich. I know they're not a bird of prey, but just because they're big and, you know, rowdy. Or maybe a cassowary.
Right.
A cassowary.
Yeah, gosh. Yeah. My sister once got pecked by an emu at a petting zoo.
Ooh. See, they're
so-
they're fierce creatures at times.
They are. All right. So that one is, yeah, I'd like to see that. I think I'd go see the movie.
That'd be a fascinating
that.
movie. Yeah.
Would you like one of
100%.
mine? I didn't
Yeah,
really
go ahead.
understand the assignment, I feel. So
It's got to make
this
it
is
more
my-
interesting.
This is my warm-up one. So you
Yeah,
find
go for it.
yourself in a similar room to what you mentioned.
Okay.
Maybe it's just down the hall.
Mm-hmm.
And I know now that there's a counter and there's a speaker that this voice starts blaring out of.
Yeah.
And-
They're often, featured. Yeah.
And he says, in front of you is a table, and on that table is a nondescript box. It's just a brown paper box. In
Okay.
that box is a jigsaw puzzle. It's 1,000 pieces,
Oh, no.
and you have to do that jigsaw puzzle. But of course, there's no picture on the box.
Oh, how could you?
Right.
So evil.
And and obviously, if you don't do it, you die. I think there's like probably gas or something that comes into the room. But I think
That's dark.
the audience, us as an audience, we're just watching someone do a jigsaw puzzle.
I like that. That's a very relaxing movie.
Yeah, and it might even be someone who's done jigsaw puzzles in the past.
They're quite
Competitively.
experienced. Oh, nice.
Right. So
Ex-champion.
that changes things. Maybe we saw them doing jigsaw puzzles earlier in the film.
Ooh.
And I don't know, maybe they slighted Jigsaw
Oh, yes.
at a jigsaw puzzle competition.
Oh.
And he got upset.
I could posit something as to that, to the lore of it.
Uh-huh. Oh,
Perhaps-
okay. Let's
Perhaps this is
knit it in.
yeah. Perhaps this is the trauma from Jigsaw's childhood, where he was doing a jigsaw at pre-primary, and one of the fellow classmates, one of the fellow toddlers, hid a piece from him or something. Kind of screwed him
damn.
over, and so now he's remembered it.
I can relate because every time I go back to my family's house, I go to visit for a couple of days. There's always a jigsaw puzzle going, and like multiple people in my family, whether it's my mum, my dad, usually it's my dad, and either one of my sisters, they all hide a piece because they want to be the one to put in the last piece.
That's so funny.
Sometimes you'll get to the end of the puzzle and there's 4 pieces missing. And you're like,
Wow.
what's going on here? And you have to call a family meeting and, interrogate everyone. It's ridiculous.
No one will
And
admit to it.
Yeah, no one does. And usually what ends up happening is pieces will slowly find their way into the puzzle. And then maybe a week later, the last piece will show up in the washing.
Wow, someone forgot about it.
It's terrible. It's ruined so many puzzles.
Everyone wants the glory. So this is like
That's
a personal
right.
touch, your
Yeah.
connection to the Jigsaw character and with this Jigsaw trap.
Right. I had no idea. I had no idea that. I guess you
Wow.
maybe made up that jigsaw, that jigsaw law. But yeah, that's my first idea.
I like that. I like that a lot. And like I said, it could be, a quite relaxing movie watching a character do the jigsaw, but also you could have stressful music over it, so it's quite intense too, as
Oh, I
the
like
countdown
that.
timer goes down, like
I'm
sweating over
imagining-
the pieces.
I'm imagining the director's cut is like just the entire 60-minute period. And
Yeah.
the director's commentary is like, yeah, I really wanted to put this in to the actual film, but it tested a bit too well. People were way too calm, and
Yeah.
the rest of the film was sort of lost on them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It wasn't scary enough. Okay, but that's a really solid one. I've got another here.
Excellent.
I've got several others. Let's see here.
That's good. That was the assignment.
Yeah. Okay, here's one. Now we're
Excellent.
getting a lot of these also quite personalized to me in the way that they're very awkward scenarios.
Okay.
So I guess, to do with my social anxieties, which would probably be the most terrifying traps possible for someone like myself. So this one's all about that. Okay, so picture this.
Okay.
Right. It's a man. He arrives home, after work one day, and he finds that all of his shoes and footwear, so we're talking thongs, flip-flops, sandals, whatever you want, they're all gone. They're all missing.
Oh no.
All of them.
This
Not a
is
single one.
nightmare.
Yep. There's no signs, though, of a break-in, and no other items are missing at all from the home. Okay, just the footwear. But he does find a note left in place of the missing shoes. And the note
Okay.
reads, "I will return your footwear to you, but when I do, they will all be without their soles. But..."
Okay.
So that's the consequence. "But if you do exactly as I say, then they shall be returned unaltered."
Okay.
Okay, so the man turns over the note.
Sure. Sure.
It's a small
It's
note.
double-sided. It's double-sided.
Yeah, it's
That's how you know it's
double-sided.
serious.
Because that was the end of the first page. He turns it over.
How
the back
big
is-
what size paper are we talking?
I'm thinking this is like a postcard size. Postcard, not a
Okay.
post-it, but a postcard.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like an envelope, a letter.
Okay.
So the back of
He
it
just
reads...
scrolled it on the back of a bill envelope.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, he stole this guy's shoes. He doesn't get it. Like, whatever. Here's a trap for you.
I better leave a note.
Yeah. So on the back it reads, "You are to attend a large barbecue fry-up at this location." He writes the location. "At this date," a specific date, You must spend the entire day there. You must be honest, polite, and engaging. And you must entertain any conversations that might be presented to you by the meat eaters that are attending. That is all.
God damn. It sounds like Jigsaw is just trying to invite you to his barbecue.
True. That's all he wants. He just wants a buddy to go to his barbecue.
This is the only way he knows how to like engage with people. Man,
Yeah.
I always feel sorry for him. Like
He has to trick them into it. It's the only way, or force them into it to get their shoes back.
how attached to your shoes are you? Like, can you
Yeah.
not just go out and buy more shoes?
Well, see, this is the background of it. So I've added here, the man desperately wants his shoes back. And also, one more note. See, I knew you'd ask that. I knew you'd ask that. Because, you know, there's these plot holes in movies all the time.
Right.
So I got to add in, he desperately wants
gotta
his shoes
plug 'em.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
okay.
desperately wants them back. I don't
Well,
know
then
why, he
that's
just
fine.
does.
Sure.
He just does.
Yep. Cool. We
And
got to
the
get
only-
the shoes back then.
The only problem is that he is an ethical vegan. Okay.
Okay.
So this is like personal to me.
I did think that when you were talking about them being meat eaters, I thought
Yep.
that's a weird detail to put in if this person isn't you specifically.
Yeah. The Jigsaw knows that this guy is a vegan, so he's torturing him in this way. He's making him go to this barbecue where he's going to get, you know, questioned and stuff like that. And he's
Gotcha.
going to have to, he's forced to engage with all these questions. So
Yep.
that's the punishment.
Gotcha. Because I was going to say, like, you talk to people who eat meat all the time. It's not like you don't
Yeah.
talk to people who eat meat.
Oh, no, of course. But if you're at like
I guess
a
at
barbecue fry-up,
yeah.
the question's bound to come up probably with several people. So it will be an anxiety-inducing event potentially.
Oh, absolutely. Someone will be like, "Oh, I see you're not eating a sausage.
Yeah.
What's going on?"
You just have the bread in your hands there with ketchup and mustard.
Oh no, your sausage has fallen out.
Here you go, sir.
Don't touch my bread. It's perfect.
No, get that glizzy away from me.
Terrible. All right, yeah. I mean,
Tricky
I'd
scenario.
probably still go to the barbecue
Yeah.
to get my shoes back. Or, you know, you could just not, and then they're returned to you without the soles.
Yeah, you get them
And you
back.
could get them resold.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a thing.
You have to get new soles though, because he throws out the old soles.
Yeah, but that's neither here nor there.
I thought that's a funny detail I wanted to add.
I feel
It's a
like
real-
given your added caveat there that the man really wants his shoes back,
Yeah.
he would go and source new soles for these shoes.
He probably would. Yeah. I thought the funny thing with this question is that they're just both inconveniences, you know? And it's like, which one's more frustrating or inconvenienced, you know? You got to weigh it up.
Yeah, no, totally.
But I think I'd also go to the barbecue, just suss it out. And then if I couldn't be bothered staying for the whole day, I'd just be like, oh, fuck it, I'm getting some new shoes. Damn you, Jigsaw. Damn you. You've trifled with me again. He's like Dennis the Menace.
Fantastic. Okay, so my next one.
Yep.
So my next four actually. There's an ongoing theme, and that is that they've come from movies that I've seen.
Oh, cool.
If I'm being honest, so.
I like
Yeah,
that.
if you can guess which movies they are, I think some of them are very
Yes.
obvious.
Yes. Oh, and everyone in the comments, guess along with us. Guess, okay? If
Yeah.
you score all the points, you win a prize of our respect.
Yes, and we've got no way of checking if you guessed them before they were revealed
Yeah.
in the podcast. And if you're just listening on Spotify or whatever, just shout it out wherever you are. Shout out the answer.
Yeah. Make it into a game with your family.
Fantastic.
And,
so this first one
Go
is so you find yourself in a canyon maybe somewhere in Utah.
Ooh.
And
Okay.
you like it's a rock climbing area. I know that you boulder. I've bouldered before. It's like a bouldering hotspot maybe.
Yeah. I've watched that movie 127 Hours Later or whatever it's called. I think that was in
Okay.
Utah. Maybe.
Yeah.
He gets
Okay,
stuck in a
cool.
canyon or a rock. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's the movie. Your hesitancy, I was like, oh, okay, that's the movie.
Oh, is that where that takes place? No, it's yeah. It's
James Franco.
it's just a real coincidence that you brought that up.
Okay, let's
Do you know
continue.
that film was actually directed by Danny Boyle?
Oh, really? I didn't know
the
that.
director of 28 Days Later. Yes.
I need to watch it again. I watched it in the cinema and I haven't watched it since.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. No, good movie. Based
Cool.
on the life of Aaron Ralston.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know all these details about it because that's what this is. But anyway, you wake up suddenly and your arm is pinned under a boulder, and
Interesting.
you have to escape. There's a timer. There's like a that big red timer that you were talking about just off to the side,
Wow.
and it's got a countdown on it. For 6 days or 124 hours.
Whoa.
144 hours. Sorry, my bad.
That's
My
hardcore.
maths is a bit off. Beyond that point, you will die in the canyon, and you have a pocket knife and some climbing ropes.
Oh. This is horrible. Oh, no.
I feel bad for reducing the life of Aaron Ralston to a saw trap. But
It really
yeah.
was, though.
It really was.
His horrendous experience really was like a saw trap. It was horrendous.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, man, it's such an intense idea. To have that happen to you, and to make that, to have that realization that you're not going to be saved, so far down the line, and then have that moment of clarity that I have to cut my arm off here and try my best to get out is super intense.
Oh, God.
All right,
Like,
you guessed it so early.
just after you said canyon, I was like, yeah, I know a movie with a canyon in it. Oh, Utah. No, it was after you said Utah. I was like, yeah, Utah.
Utah, yeah, rock climbing. Huh.
I like the detail that this implies that Jigsaw is potentially like a hobbyist, climber. Because he'd have to be to set up a trap. Yeah, he'd have to set up a trap like this,
Right. Yeah, totally. So yeah, that's my second one.
God, I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could use the pocket knife. I'd probably just desperately try every other means, and then it would just be I'd have to be in the moment. I don't know what I would do. I'd have to be in that survival mode, but I can't imagine doing it.
Right, I can't either. It's a lot of pain, and you'd be blacking out throughout as well. I'm sure that stuff happens like this in the Saw movies, and I don't know how.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know how they. Yeah, I don't know how anyone in that scenario would do anything like that. But I guess, at some point, your survival instinct just kicks in. Like an animal caught in a trap. gnawing off
Yeah.
its leg.
Yeah.
You just do it.
I know, exactly. It's one of the big themes of the Saw movies is having to cut off a limb because you're chained up or something.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, with, what was his name? Aaron Ralston, was it? The climber?
Yeah, Aaron Ralston.
Aaron Ralston.
Yep.
Yes, he, for the audience who doesn't know, he had to cut off his arm to escape the boulder that was trapped over his arm to get out. That was the only way. He tried, just squeezing himself out. He tried yanking himself out. Nothing worked.
He tried to make like a little pulley system to pull pull the boulder out, and that didn't work.
I forgot about that. True. So yeah, that's the only option in the end for this trap, and that's a horrifying thought. True Saw,
really
true
is.
Saw fashion. Holy shivers. Okay, well, I might pick another one here then from my list,
Excellent.
from a cheeky list.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. And also anyone in the audience who wants to say what they would choose as well as the movie guesses, I'd be interested to hear what your choices are to some of our things that we present you with, some of the traps that we present you with.
I'm just going to say ahead of time, I don't think mine are going to be very conducive to making choices.
That's all right. That one kind of was, though.
Yeah, I think that's probably the closest mine get to the actual Saw movie ethos, though. Just fair warning.
Oh, we're having fun with it. Mine certainly are not very Saw-like. So let's see what I have here. I have one where, this is a kind of based on a movie. We can see if you can guess it. Okay, the character wakes up on a full passenger airplane mid-flight in the sky. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's full, like I said. All the other passengers are also slowly waking up, and they're slowly realizing their surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everyone's in a bit of shock and panic. You know, they weren't expecting to fly today, to say the least. None of them booked a flight today.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. The cockpit's sealed. Okay, people are banging on the doors. There's no response. Nothing's happening.
Mm-hmm.
There's staff. Okay, there's a flight crew. But you know what the flight crew is? It's those little wooden saw dolls riding on a tricycle.
Oh no, is that a thing? That's a thing in the...
Yeah. It's like the mascot of the Saw movies is this scary little ventriloquist puppet who's like wooden.
Gotcha.
And he rides on a tricycle. Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. Interesting.
So those are the attendees for the flight.
Okay.
Just riding little tricycles up and down, providing soda refreshments for everyone.
I was going to ask, are they handing out peanuts or something? Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you some
sounds
peanuts.
better than 90% of the flights that I've had in the last couple of years.
This is an entertaining flight so far, other than that you don't know where you're going and you didn't expect to be flying. But other than that, it's really cool thematically.
Yeah.
Okay, so while all that's happening, so there's all the other passengers. It's like the typical passengers that you'd expect for a, passenger international flight. There's families, there's old people, young people, couples, people coughing, like sick people. There's everything that you get from, your airport experience.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's a variety of people. But then a voice sounds from the speakers, of course, in Saw fashion. It says, "Hello, passengers. You are all here because you've previously been on a flight, and upon arrival to your destination, you stood up out of your seat before the seatbelt sign turned off." So that's the part, that's why he's pissed off. Okay, that's why these people are here. And just for clarity's sake,
Jigsaw Airlines.
Jigsaw thanks you for your... We hope you've had a pleasant experience. And for clarity's sake, I hate it when people do this, when they stand up early on a flight, you know, when you've already landed.
Yep.
Frustrating thing, to say the least.
Yeah.
So Jigsaw, that's what that's where he gets his frustration from. Okay. He says...
So what are we going to do?
Yeah. He says, now you have a choice. That's what he always says, by the way, in the movies. He says their wrongdoings, and he's like, now you have a choice. This plane will run out of fuel and crash into the Pacific Ocean in approximately 1 hour. But if you eat the meal in front of you before the fuel runs out, you will be provided with a parachute and will be able to exit the plane while it is still flying over land. The choice is yours. Mm-hmm. So
A lot of yours are food related.
Yeah. I think I was eating while I came up with those two. I was having dinner and I was like, I need to come up with 2 more. And so I did 2 food ones.
Oh, nice. Cool.
So
what's the meal? What are we looking at here?
Oh, I just realized I didn't write the food before you. I didn't actually write it, but I had one in mind. I just forgot to write it, so I'll tell you now.
Okay, good. Cool.
So think of airplane food, the most horrible airplane food you've ever seen, ever had.
Cool.
Think of that in your mind. Defrosted, unheated, just horrible. Looking at this food, you can tell it's got a little bit of mold in some parts, You can tell you're almost guaranteed to get heavy food poisoning from this. It could be a danger to your life to eat this. There's a risk of salmonella or something. This is not good food. You have to try to stomach this food and eat it within an hour.
Okay. I think I could do that one.
Yeah.
The thing I'd have troubles with is the parachuting out of the plane part.
Yeah, that's pretty scary.
I hate the idea of skydiving. I hate it.
Me
can't
too.
understand why anyone is okay with doing it. I can't understand why people do it multiple times or even have the idea that they want to do it.
Nope.
It just makes zero sense to me. Ugh.
No, we're anti-skydiving on this podcast. I'm glad to know that about you. I hate it as well. No way. Good. I would never do it. Never do it. I'd never bungee jump, never do anything like that.
Yeah, it's just passive thrill seeking. I just don't understand. Like, roller coasters are the same for me. It's like,
yeah, me too.
You're just sitting in a situation and having something crazy happen to you where you have like no agency, no control. Just ain't for me, man. Just ain't for me.
I completely agree with roller coasters as well. I'm so glad I've learnt this about you. Roller coasters.
I feel seen.
Yeah, they don't give me adrenaline. They just make me feel violently ill in my stomach because it's so jolting and upside down, and I just feel scared and the blood rush, and it's horrible.
Yeah, I hate the feeling of anxiety that you get as well standing in line.
Oh, yeah. Lions.
Growing up, my sisters loved water slides. My dad loved water slides. And so they would like force me to come along. And I didn't say, oh, no. Like, they didn't feel like an option. They were very persuasive. And standing in line was the worst. And then the thing happens and it's like not fun.
It sucks. The whole experience sucks.
It's awful.
This is even worse.
That would be the hardest. That would be the hardest part. Eating the food, easy. Parachuting out of the plane, hard.
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
You can imagine there's a chance. You can imagine as well there's a chance that the plane might safely land in the Pacific Ocean, because there's presumably someone flying it. So maybe they will let it down gently as it runs out of fuel.
Or maybe there's not. Maybe
Maybe there's
Jigsaw
not.
has already parachuted out of the plane, or the pilot, or whoever it is.
Yeah. We've got quite a
Or maybe the
thrill-seeking
camera
Jigsaw.
cuts to the pilot, and they're like, they're like just strapped to their chair, tied up, tape across their mouth. And they've already been told by Jigsaw that they're there for some other reason, something that they've done as a pilot that slighted Jigsaw.
They
so
stumbled.
They're doing their own challenge. They're busy with their own stuff.
Oh yeah, they stumbled over their words in like the flight announcement,
right?
The pre-flight announcement or something on the weather.
Something like that. And it caused Jigsaw to put his jumper away in his carry-on, and then he got a little bit chilly on his way out of the plane.
Exactly. Jigsaw's petty. He's very petty.
Very petty like that. But yeah, do you think you'd be able to eat the food?
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to. And then you just gotta... I'm imagining that there's a safe way to jump out of the plane. There might be like a little hatch that opens up in the cargo or something, so you could drop out, instead of getting caught in one of the engines or something horrible.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I feel like as well, you could just throw up on your way out of the plane as well.
Yeah.
Like once
you could hold it in.
Once you parachute, you can just...
Yeah. You let it go.
Eject all that food. You'd probably be fine. Like...
Yeah. There's bird food at that point.
Right. For those angry predatory birds.
Yeah. Back to the birds.
All right. Terrific. Well, my next one... okay.
Oh, just
this.
could you guess what movie that was from? Did you have any idea at all?
Oh.
It's not that similar, but it's kind of similar to a horror movie in particular.
Gotcha. Well, my first thought was Snakes on a Plane.
That is a good choice. I didn't think of that.
That's also a plane thing.
I'll give you points. I'll give you points for that one.
For a plane-related horror movie? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, then I'll just keep listing plane-related horror movies.
You get more points. Yeah, 1,000 points.
What can I use these points for? Oh, I'm rich.
Who knows?
So, Red Eye, which is another Cillian Murphy film, where he is a stalker on a plane. Another
I've heard of that
plane
one.
movie. Yeah,
I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it.
Blood Red Sky came out more recently. It's about a vampire lady on a plane, but she's like the good guy.
Think of this one in particular is people trapped on a plane. In that way, it's similar.
Okay, Con Air.
Oh, nice.
Nicolas Cage on a plane?
Not Con
No?
Air.
Okay.
That is a good one, though, because they are trapped on a plane.
There's so many plane movies.
Yeah.
Wow, we could do a deep dive on this, actually, I'm thinking. Oh, man. Final Destination, they're not trapped on a plane, but it starts on a plane. Look, I don't know. Which movie is it?
It's actually from Escape Room. I think Escape Room 2 in particular, if you've seen those movies.
Okay. I have, but a little while ago, so I've forgotten.
My memory may not be fully accurate, but I swear there's one escape challenge where they think that they're flying into another city of America or something, and they actually were lured onto a plane, which is an escape room in itself.
Okay. Maybe I haven't seen the second one, but I remember them being on a train at some point and that being an escape room.
Yep. That's one.
Yeah.
I think that's on the first one.
I think those movies are quite similar to Saw, right?
Yeah, big time. And they're really good. I like those. Escape room movies are pretty fun.
Yeah, they were a lot of fun. So my next one, if you can imagine, you're waking up in a metal room. You know, it could be a shipping container or something you don't know. You know, metal walls, metal floors, metal ceiling.
Okay.
And at one end, there's like hydraulic doors that go, you know?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Get proximal. Cool.
Yeah.
So you walk up to the doors, they open, you find yourself in like a metal tube. You know, you're walking along that, and then you walk into like this larger metal space, and in the middle there's like a metal dining table type thing, and there's a guy who you recognize laying dead on the table.
Oh no.
A bloody mess. And off to the side there's that red metal clock timer.
Yeah, the classic clock.
And you know, oh shit, am I in a Saw movie? And a voice comes over the loudspeaker and says, "You were stuck on a craft, and it's about to be destroyed in the next 60 minutes. You have to make your way to an escape pod."
Oh, okay.
To survive.
Okay. Interesting.
If you fail to get there before the timer runs out, then you will die. The ship will explode, or the life support system will run out.
Whoa.
He sounds a lot more confident when he's saying this over the loudspeaker. He tells you exactly what's going to happen. He's not like, I don't know. You know.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Cool.
So this is some sort of a spaceship.
Right. But there's some sort of terrifying creature that is stalking you through the spaceship.
Aha.
And they will kill you on sight, like they have your crewmates.
Yes.
Yeah, I think this one's pretty obvious what it is.
It's got to be Alien, right?
Right. It is Alien.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very good choice.
Right. I think that's a Saw trap, right? That's
Yeah.
essentially a Saw trap.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's even the Alien video game that came out like after Covenant Prometheus, where it's like you have to escape the alien, and you got to hide underneath like chairs and like lockers in the ship and stuff.
Alien
it's very,
Isolation. It was
that's the one.
Game. Yeah.
Nice. It's very
I loved that.
escape Saw like. Yeah. I like that a lot. So wait, how long do you have to escape? Oh, the life support system turn off.
It seems like 60 minutes is like
that's pretty
the time, right?
It's pretty good. It's nice to cut up 60 minutes into, movie footage.
Right. I think it would be 60 minutes.
Damn. Yeah, how'd you escape that alien? I mean, those aliens seem pretty impossible to escape, to be honest. I just sprint.
I think
make a run for it.
Once they see you, you're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried to be as sneaky as I can, and then if I see the chance to sprint, I'm going to sprint. That's my only method, I think, using my research.
I would get into some sort of forklift suit and see if I couldn't sort of jettison boxes out of the cargo bay to send the alien into space.
Very wise. You've learned well from the movies I see. Yes. You've done your studying. Nice.
Yes. That's my highly original idea of how to survive this trap.
Nice. I like this, though. There could be like a Saw movie that's like the best of all of, the great horror movies. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
As a concept.
That's what we're writing here with mine anyway.
No, I like it.
My last two aren't horror movies.
Ooh, interesting.
So yeah,
different genres.
Branching out of horror.
Okay. Well then, I believe I have two more to present to you. I think. Let's go the very last one. I know which one's the last one, so I'll go with this one. Okay. So picture this. A young woman. She's the main character. She's in her third year of studying sociology. She's doing a dissertation on toxic masculinity in particular. Okay.
Oh, okay.
This will all be laid out throughout the movie. I'm just giving you the cliff notes, you know.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm not trying to write a whole movie script.
It's not done through a hasty exposition in the moment.
Exactly. This is all well made.
Okay.
And just to picture this amazing movie. One morning though, she wakes up. I always start with "you just wake up," but that's sort of the sore premise in a lot of stuff.
Right. I've even done that with mine.
Yeah, because the victims tend to just wake up because it's hard to trap them unless they're sedated.
Yeah, right.
So she wakes up one morning to find an unstoppable, corrupting virus on her phone. Okay, now this is going to get a bit techie, so I'm going to have to explain a few things, okay? But I think you'll like this one. I think you'll like this. She has this all-corrupting virus on her phone which spreads to all of her devices and any that she might use in the future. Okay? So it tracks, it like spreads across Wi-Fi, across 5G. It tracks her Face ID, her fingerprint, her logins, everything. She can't escape it. So it's on every device. Okay?
Sure.
There's no way out. She quickly realizes that there's no way for her to consume any entertainment ever again of any form. That's what the virus does, okay? So no Netflix, we're talking about no YouTube, no podcasts, no audiobooks, no music, nothing. Really nothing. If she goes to the cinema, the virus will spread to the cinema screen and she won't be able to see the movie.
Oh my God. Okay.
Everything. Okay. No entertainment ever again from digital devices. She can go see a theater production. Just nothing digital.
Okay. And she's really cut up about it because her favorite podcast, It Lives on Tape, has just come out.
Exactly. She's like, oh my God, I was just getting addicted to this and now I can't watch it anymore. And this virus starts happening as she's listening to this episode.
Seamless plug.
Yeah. All right. But what she realizes then is that not only can she not watch or listen to any entertainment ever again, that's not entirely true because there is one that she can, which is suddenly her only, thing recommended on all her devices.
I know where this is going. Oh my God.
We talked
You're
about
a
this.
Monster.
Yes. You know what it is. It's the most prolific and popular podcast in the world. It's our competitor. It's the Joe Rogan Experience. It's the only form of entertainment she can ever consume. She can do YouTube clips of Joe Rogan, Spotify, anything, but only his podcast. That's all.
My Lord. That's
torture,
wild.
Right? It's torture.
Wow.
It's hell. So then a message appears on her phone when she realizes those two things.
Okay.
It like pops up as like an SOS alert, kind of like that. But it also appears in her email, on her TV, everywhere. It's infiltrated everything.
Just to make sure that she gets it.
Yeah, there's no missing it. Yep.
Yep. It's like more effective than an emergency alert at that stage.
Yeah, it's way more effective. It's actually way better. And this guy's
and it doesn't
Jigsaw
randomly fire off at like inopportune moments and freak out an entire island of people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like Jigsaw is literally the most tech savvy guy on earth.
Oh, fantastic. All the good he could have done.
Yeah. So the message, it says that the only way that she can escape this virus is if she sits down and spends the day talking to two dudes. That's what specifically says, two dudes.
That's the nomenclature they use. Okay.
Exactly. Two dudes who get all of their opinions from the Joe Rogan podcast.
Damn.
So he's organized a sort of play date of sorts where she has to just talk to these two dudes for the whole day and all of their opinions are from the Joe Rogan.
This sounds like Jigsaw just trying to invite people on play dates.
True. Yeah, maybe he is one of them. This is just a follower. It's a follower of Jigsaw.
Want to talk to someone. Maybe they want to talk to they want to talk to a woman to get a different perspective because all they watch is Joe Rogan.
Exactly, and it's hard to meet women.
Maybe they're trying to broaden their horizons and their understanding of the world.
Exactly, and I imagine it'd be incredibly hard for them to meet women because every time they mention the Joe Rogan podcast, it's like a repellent.
Right.
This might be divisive for some of our listeners who may also be fans of the Joe Rogan Experience. No hate, just not for us.
Yeah, it's. There was a time when I, when I did listen, many years ago before COVID.
Before COVID.
Yeah.
And, back when the DMT, bro, and the man, you think a bear could defeat a chimpanzee, when those were still like fresh and funny.
Now it's done to death. It's like, he's talking about that again, right? Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, it was a novel thing at one stage, and now it's just tedious.
He's the same 5 topics, just recycled.
So those are the punishments.
Can she watch any of the the parody videos where they've cut parts of interviews to make like a coherent narrative? I think I sent you one the other night.
You did.
It's Post Malone is on, and Joe Rogan and his buddies are talking about eating him. It was deceivably cut together to make it seem like Joe Rogan and his buddies wanted to consume the flesh of Post Malone. Which I assume did not happen during the podcast. I watched that, but I assume can she watch those or
no? It only it can't be ones that are taken out of context.
Primary source material. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So no entertaining ones essentially.
Damn. Well, look, I don't know what her perspective on this is.
That's why I laid out in the start. She's a sociology third-year student who's doing a dissertation on toxic masculinity. So she'd be quite versed in Joe Rogan and quite adverse to participating in either of these things.
Right, but surely as part of her dissertation, she needs to engage with toxic masculinity.
Good point. I didn't consider that angle, but that's right.
This could be a fantastic opportunity to gather more data. Yeah,
perfect. I think that's the right answer. Yeah.
It kind of seems like Jigsaw is just helping her at that point.
Jigsaw is actually her lecturer the whole time.
But also, like, she could just, step away from digital media and all of that and go completely analog.
That'd be cool.
Become like a true Luddite. But I think... I mean, there's an argument to be made that where all of our devices have been infected with such a virus, at least for times of our lives where it feels like that's all that we're getting online. I get you. Quite the social commentary you're making here, Torkel.
Exactly. Yeah, it could be also, of course, Joe Rogan's one example, but there's many things that become so pervasive within our algorithms that are unique to us that we get stuck on. Yeah.
So true. Yeah. We're at the living at the whims of the algorithm.
Ooh, that's the true Saw trap. It's like Black Mirror Saw episode,
Yes. I
like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Another one. Let's go.
Okay, so you wake up as you have many times before, and hopefully will do many times into the future.
Yeah.
You
Like
you
sort of
wake
a-
up and you find that you're not in your house. You're in someone else's house.
God.
And you get up out of bed and you make your way into a hallway, and you see pictures along the hallway of a family, right? And you're in it. You recognize yourself, but they're dressed in like different clothes. They look like this family doesn't look like your own. Although the family is like a single father or a single mother household.
Oh, okay.
If that makes sense.
Important info. Yep.
Right. And then you realize, no, you're told through some means.
Through the phone, a phone call.
Through a phone call, yes. I like it. That's very very
A landline.
Scream.
They have a landline in their house, which is even more shocking.
What's your favorite horror movie? Yeah, you pick up the landline and this voice tells you have been swapped with your biological identical twin. And your task in the next hour is to get your parents back together, so that you and your long lost twin can have a complete family. Failure
God.
to do that will doom you to live the life of your twin, forever. You'll no longer be yourself.
So wait, the twin is with the other parent?
Presumably.
Is that the...
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, presumably.
Oh my God. So presumably the twin maybe also got the same message, and then you kind of have to work together?
Yeah, I'd say so. I've only thought about one of these twins, really.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what's
Interesting.
happening with the other one, but I would imagine
I guess you wouldn't
probably the
know.
same thing.
Yeah, you wouldn't know in
Right.
the scenario anyway.
Right.
Whoa. That's a tricky one. And it's sort of got that, the trauma angle of like divorced parents going on, which, could make for some interesting plot throughout the movie leading up to this point, I imagine.
Do you recognize the movie? I feel like
Oh,
this one is...
oh yeah, I forgot there's a movie.
Yeah.
Oh God, what could it be? I actually don't know. Nothing comes to mind immediately.
This one actually has trap in the name.
Oh.
Yeah.
The only movie I can think of that's got trap in the name is Parent Trap.
It's Parent Trap.
And if I'm being honest, I can't remember what Parent Trap is. I just know the title.
That's the plot, except the twins, the twins make this plan and purposefully swap places. So this is taking
I remember
the agency away from them. Yeah.
I remember watching that
I think
movie as
they
a kid.
meet on a summer camp or something, and they're like, "Oh my God, you look just like me." Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay, I like that. That's made me remember a movie that was like lodged in the back catalogue of my memories. So I appreciate that. That was good.
Yeah, I told Jade that one this morning, and she was like, "Oh, that's funny. That's I never thought about The Parent Trap as a Saw movie."
Yeah. So wait, what's the punishment if they don't get back together within the hour?
You're no longer yourself. Like, you know nothing of this life, and you've just got to go through it. It's like a Freaky Friday situation, but you're just like a random person.
And you lose connection
no one
with the original parent that you'd grown up with.
Right.
Wow.
Summer camp's over. You're gone.
Oh, damn. Okay. Real repercussions, real punishments there. Psychological. Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
The Parent Trap horror version.
Not quite in the same vein as Saw. I mean, like, you're not missing a limb or anything like that, or dying. But yeah.
Hey, that's why game is so much fun, because we're writing our own Saw movies here, our own Saw traps, just for us.
Sure. Yes.
And potentially for any of our listeners who enjoy these ideas, then they could ponder upon a Saw movie of this magnitude. Heck yeah.
Right. Hit us with your last one.
Yeah, this is my final one. So this is the meta one. I thought of this, I
Okay.
think, today, when I woke up. I was like, I've got it. By Jove, I have it. Okay.
Excellent.
So I've been calling this Saw 10, but, it's really Saw X is the title. And as you know, there's also been big developments in the world of Twitter being renamed by the megalomaniac Elon Musk to X, not unlike
Yes.
Saw X. See
They
where I'm
have
going?
An X in the name, yes.
Big X. Yes. Cross it out. Get rid of it. So Saw X. Okay, get this. Now, this is not a movie per se. It's going to be a movie, of course. But this is real life that I'm talking about. Imagine for a second, because neither of us have seen the Saw X movie, okay? So this is our shoes now. We've only seen, little flashes of the trailer and the poster. It's like someone with an eye torture device. Okay, that was put out on purpose as propaganda to make you think that it was going to be your average Saw movie. Okay? Torture.
Okay.
We both buy tickets to the Saw movie. We're like, okay, faithful fans are diehard Saw fans, apparently, and they've told us we have to watch it. So we go and we watch it. We go to the
They
cinema.
told us not to eat anything beforehand. Has anyone told you that? Apparently,
probably,
Apparently, it's gory. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, It's probably not good to have a full stomach in there. Yeah, definitely.
No.
Or a full bladder, perhaps, if you're prone to that type of fear. But pissing your pants, I'm trying to say.
Right.
So
I got it.
I hammered down on the joke. Let's say we go to the cinema, right? We're seeing Saw X.
Okay.
The doors close behind us. Okay, they're locked. Okay, we don't realize that, but they're locked. No one's getting out. The entire movie is essentially a trap for the audience. And it's like a cinema experience, you could say. And we start to realize this when the movie starts. So what precedes is not a regular Saw movie. What precedes is actually a 2-hour slideshow of problematic tweets from the Twitter site labeled as X, from creators such as Elon Musk and Jordan Peterson and the like.
Okay.
So it's a horrible
Just a right-wing brainwashing film.
Exactly. And that's why it's torture, because everyone's there not expecting that. People like me and you who do not want this, and we realize we're locked in the cinema. That is the Saw trap. It's just sort of a meta one.
And it seems like there's no way out.
There's no way out.
There's not even, like, Jigsaw doesn't even seem to be involved. Like, he's not chiming in and telling us what's going on. We're just having the realization.
Exactly. This is really meta. It's just changing the whole concept. It's like, you could think of it like a figure like Elon Musk bought the Saw franchise and completely changed it for his own propaganda, not unlike X.
Wow, that is very meta. And he renamed it something else.
X. It just takes away the Saw completely, and it's also X. The experience.
The experience, that sounds right. That sounds right.
There you have it. There you have it.
Right. Man, that sounds horrible. I don't know if I can top that. Let's give it a shot.
I needed a legit torture one because all the others were, a bit loopy, a bit kooky, a bit crazy. So that's a real one.
I mean, the Birds of Prey, that one was like a saw trap, I feel.
Yeah, a bit funny, but also torturous.
All right, my next one, my last one.
Yep.
So picture this: you're a chef. You've got your own restaurant. You've come from money. You've been like allowed this opportunity to have this restaurant. It's your life's work.
Nice.
And you get a bit blasé. You cut a few corners on the pest and vermin control front.
Oh no!
Because it's your big grand reopening coming up, or you're trying out a new menu, and the mayor is coming, right?
Okay.
And so it's a big deal. I can't stress this enough. It's a really big deal that everything goes right.
Could make or break the restaurant.
Right. And you're serving up, this great meal to the mayor, and they bite into whatever it is, some sort of parcel-like dish. Maybe it's like a phyllo pastry, something or other.
Ooh.
And they look at it and realize that they've bitten the head off a cockroach.
Oh.
And they're so shocked they have a heart attack in that moment and they die. So you have killed the mayor, right? This is set up. Obviously this doesn't, like you were saying with the third year sociology major writing her dissertation, this isn't just shown to you very quickly before the trap is established.
There's an amazing movie beforehand.
Over the course of the film. Yes. And so your restaurant's closed down, it's career ruining, right?
Yeah.
But an elderly relative has died and left to you their old decrepit mansion, you and your brother, actually.
Whoa.
And so you realize once you get this mansion that that the architect, they're a very famous architect, and this is the last mansion that they designed, so it's worth a lot of money.
Damn.
So you take to renovating it, right?
Okay.
But during these renovations, a countdown appears.
That mysterious clock.
Countdown appears. Yes.
A red analog thing.
Right. And a voice out of nowhere tells you that there is a mouse in this house. And it's trying to foil your plans. It's a very clever mouse.
Oh God, I know what this is exactly. I love this movie.
Failure to get rid of this mouse is going to mean that it's going to be unable to be auctioned. It's going to raise a lot of eyebrows. It's going to be torn down because it's unsafe to reside in.
Pesky mouse.
And that's the trap. That's the nuts and bolts of the trap. I can I can tell you what I think probably happens next.
I just want to say I'm
sure you figured it out.
I love that you went with like this theme of movies that have trap in the title. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I thought this one had trap in the title, but then when I looked it up,
oh, it doesn't, does it?
It doesn't. Yeah.
Oh,
it was just based
Hunt.
on. Yes, that's right. It is Mouse Hunt, beloved 1997 Mouse Hunt, fantastic
Yes.
movie from our childhood.
Yeah, I had it on VHS. It was one of the few VHS films that I had as a kid growing up. So I watched it probably 20 to 30 times at least. I've seen it
my
a lot.
goodness.
I know everything about it.
Yeah, terrific. I'm glad I finished on this one then.
Yeah.
Because I was like, where do I put this? It's yeah, it's a weird one.
It's a throwback.
But yeah, that's I would go see that.
Yeah,
If
you got to catch
Saw
the
X
mouse.
Had the plot of Mouse Hunt,
Yeah.
I would be watching that for sure.
60 minutes to catch the mouse. And I'm imagining, because in Mouse Hunt, like the two guys, they're kind of like doing prop comedy, like getting caught in mouse traps and like falling over and
Right.
breaking stuff. So in the
Right.
Saw version, it'll be the same, but they're badly disfiguring and injuring themselves.
It's a lot more violent. I did think, like, thinking back to this movie and all of the scenarios in it, and also thinking of the parallels between this movie and between films like Home Alone, or even in some ways 101 Dalmatians and all of that, where
Yeah.
it's like a good main character trying to foil the plans of bad people. Or there was one really good one, Baby's Day Out, or
Yeah, I
anyway.
think that's one, like Big Day Out, Baby's Big Day Out, or something like that. I don't know if I've seen that one, but yeah.
Like, I feel like movies like that sort of primed our generation for movies like Saw, like Escape Room, like Hostel, like stuff like that, where it's where that's the formula that it's following.
Yeah, it's like the adult version.
Right.
Wow, I never thought of it like that.
I think in Mouse Hunt, isn't there a scene where it's like a room full of mouse traps that they've set?
Yeah, there's
and
hundreds
they're
of
all
them.
like going off, and they're like,
Yeah.
trying to not get hit.
Yeah, I have a feeling he sets them all, and then he didn't leave a way for him to get out of it. So he's just stuck in the corner of the room with like 100 mousetraps around him. I think that's what happened.
Do you want to play a game?
The mouse just stares at him. Catch me if you can. Yeah, I'd pay to see that.
Yeah.
Top price.
Well, that's my last one. I did have like a proper one that I thought about.
Oh yeah. Honorable mention.
And it was in response to a film that I watched this year and really loved, called Triangle of Sadness.
Yeah.
It has a fantastic scene in it where everyone is throwing up because they're on a boat and they're terribly seasick and it's very stormy.
The best scene.
Yeah. So I was thinking of that, and just I had seen a video of a trap from a Saw movie on YouTube where these two people had to compete with like a set of scales. They had to like carve off their pound of flesh to get out. And so I thought about a vomit related trap where you had to fill up some vessel to a certain weight with vomit, and you had like enough fluids and whatnot to replenish yourself. Otherwise, the capsule that you're in would fill with exhaust fumes from the boat that you're on or something like that.
Oh my God.
Which is probably actually like a proper Saw trap.
That'd be full on, because it'd really play into like the disgust of everyone watching it at the cinema. Like, oh my God.
Right. Yeah. I know people get really like people
squeamish.
What's the word? Empathetically
Oh
throw
yeah.
up,
Yeah. I know what you mean.
It's like
There's a word for it.
reciprocal spewing.
Like sympathetic or something. Yeah.
Right. Where you see someone throwing up and then you throw up. So I can only imagine that would happen in the cinema.
God, imagine that.
But-
oh, that'd be horrible.
Oh, yeah. Man, the smell would be so bad.
Oh. Imagine if they just pumped that smell through the cinema as well, like a 3D Disney
like a
experience.
4D,
Yeah.
a 4D film experience. Yeah.
Yeah, just sick. Oh. And just, I'm imagining the audio, just like getting these horrible sounds of people retching and stuff like that. Yeah. Oh my God. That'd make for a really good horror movie.
It'd be rotten. It'd be so bad.
That's an amazing honorable mention. Oh God. I
Yeah.
want to see that. It reminds me as well of, I was going to say, an art installation idea that I had during COVID. I was like, in WA, we didn't have it so bad here, so I was still shopping around. And I was at Bunnings in the, plant section. And I thought to myself, what a funny premise it would be to spew on like nice bouquets of flowers and install them in like glass boxes as an exhibit. And then I thought, that's insane. It's not at all interesting, but it is funny to write. So I wrote it as like a little, comedic short. Yeah, like a comedic note.
Later.
Yeah. And in my note, I wrote, this exhibit would not work because it's highly, unsanitary during COVID times in particular.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And also it like the bouquet would die and wilt.
Interesting.
I guess that might be an interesting component.
Yeah.
But also I'm failing to see the connection between the flowers and the vomit at all.
It's just the contrast of something so beautiful and something so horrible. I think that's all.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't know if that was really a message. I was just like, it's a contrast in my brain, and then I wrote it down.
I guess that is a contrast that's like leveraged in horror movies as well. Like, I can think of like an iconic image of a rose in a pool of blood.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah.
I don't know where I've seen it, but I'm sure I've seen it like 10 times across as many different movies.
Yeah, like a lover who's just died and the blood is pooling closer and closer to the rose. Something like that.
Yeah. And it's like the innocence tarnished by the blood that was spilled. I don't know. But what does it mean when you swap out vomit for the blood?
Who knows? This is the mind of a creative. And also,
Not
the mind
makes sense, but gosh, it's interesting.
And also, after your vomit movie idea, it also shows the mind of a creative why I thought to tell that little story. I was like, I have a vomit idea too. Unrelated to movies.
Let me share it.
Yeah.
Oh, wild.
So that's our 10 traps for Saw 10, guys.
Right, that's our pitch. Well, I guess that could be Saw 11. We gave 11 traps.
Nice. Saw 11 potential. Yeah. It's a fan film. Anyone wants to make it with us?
I think we'll probably get sued. Sued by several different movie studios.
Especially if we call it Saw 11 and release it before the next Saw film.
Yeah. And with mine alone, we've got, 4 different film IPs that we're tapping into.
It's going to be hard to get the rights to that.
Yeah, I doubt it's going to happen. That's all right. We'll just keep making the podcast.
So I guess now the question is, are you going to see Saw?
Am I going to see Saw?
Yes, and also a question for our audience. Are you going to see Saw? For all of us. Do you think you're going to see Saw?
I reckon I will. I think it's sorry, I'm having a hard time understanding if this is a rhetorical question that you're asking to the audience.
Yes.
Me.
Yeah.
So sorry, audience member, if you're speaking right now.
Yeah,
and
audience
I cut
member.
in.
We hate to interrupt you, audience
Shush,
member.
Tanner, stop.
Let them respond. Let them write their comment. They're calling in. The phone lines are hot right now.
Yeah, look, I think I will have to go back and watch them. You know, I know they've had a massive impact on the horror movie scene, you know, in the last 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah, long time.
So it does feel like there's a massive gap in my understanding of parts of our beautiful genre that I should probably fill. Although there's 10 plus all of the like spin-offs. So that's a lot of material to get through.
Yeah. Maybe
so
we can.
I'm going to have to spread them out a bit.
Yeah, maybe we can do like a couple film nights so that, you know, we can try to get through it together so it's less gory and full on and slowly work our way through it.
I think that's a good way to watch things like that as well, because it becomes more funny than it is serious.
Yeah. I think I've seen like up to Saw 6 or something, basically up until the story ended. I watched all the movies, and then there was spin-offs and extra ones that jump through time, and I don't know what happened because the story ended. There was actually a narrative to it. And I thought, okay, that's the end of it. And then several movies came out after I finished them all. And I haven't seen those yet. So I'll eventually see the new ones. Eventually.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
No. Well, thank you everyone for listening, for tuning in. We hope that you've enjoyed our spin on the Saw traps.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hope you had as much fun listening as we did coming up with them.
Yeah. Absolutely. I guess, you know, if you're on YouTube or whatever, let us know what your ideas for silly Saw traps are.
Indeed.
We'd love to hear them. Tell us what you thought of ours, or which ones were your favorites, what you do in those scenarios. Yeah,
exactly. Let us know all about it. We want to hear. This is a fun episode, and we'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on some fun stuff, or even if you have some crazy, creative, scary ideas that you hope to see in Saw one day. Go for it. Go wild.
Yeah. And, you know, I guess it would be a good idea for me to reach out to our community and say, as someone who hasn't seen the Saw movies, which one should I start with? Is it a good idea to start with the first, or
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not the expert, but I imagine that there'd be some interesting answers there. I know the first is really, you know, classic, and before it gets really over the top gore. But we'll see what our community has to say for themselves.
Yes. Cool. Well, you can find us on all the podcasting platforms. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts. You can find us on Instagram, on Threads, and we both stream on Twitch. Myself as Grumbly Ghost, and Torkel as
Polyverse. Twitch.tv/Polyverse.
That's
for all your streams. Yeah. And it's exciting. We're live on all platforms. So we've got the It Lives on Tape tag on everything for podcasting.
Yes.
So yeah, go find us.
We secured it.
Yeah. We're original. Hell yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, as always, thank you for listening. We've been It Lives on Tape. You've been lovely.
Thank you so much, guys. Adios.
Thanks, Torkel.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone. Bye.
Adios.